Hey guys, it's Stacy, and today I am doing my February wrap-up. I read a total of 12 books, I think, and 3 comics. I read a lot on my Kindle this month, and I read the comics on my Kindle and whatnot, and so we're going to start with the comics and the ebooks that I read this month, just to go ahead and get those out of the way. So 3 comics that I read were just the Batman Adventure comics by Ty Templeton. I think that's who they're by. They were just like really short, like 40 pages long. I really want to get into more comics, and I thought those would be an okay way to start. I gave the first one three stars, the second one 4 stars, and the third one 3 stars. They don't really have any names, but Batman Adventures, that's all they really say. They kind of look like the cartoon Batman, like you would see like little kids watching, and they're really fun to read, really quick, and so yeah. And then the first ebook I read this month was New World Rising by Jennifer Wilson. This book was amazing. I gave it 4 stars. It's one of the most unique dystopian stories I've ever read, and a lot of people don't like dystopian anymore, but this one was so good. It didn't sugarcoat anything about it. Like, there was rape in it and sex, and it doesn't sugarcoat stuff like normal YA does, and it was just amazing, and you guys should go definitely check it out. It's got like tribes in it, and it's awesome, and just go read it. It's great. And then the next ebook I read this month was the 4th book in the Percy Jackson series, The Battle of Labyrinth. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I say Labyrinth, Librith. It's how I say it in my head, and I gave this book 4 stars. A friend of mine I recently started talking to on Tumblr convinced me to finish this series and then start the Heroes of Olympus series, so I'm super excited that I finally finished this, and I'm so glad I finally finished it because I loved the last 2 books so much. Everybody knows what the Percy Jackson series is. And so that leads to the last ebook I read this month, and that is The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan, the 5th book in the Percy Jackson series. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely my favorite book in this series. It was so good, and I enjoyed it immensely, and I'm so glad I finally decided to pick up this series again, because I used to say I'd never finish it, but then I guess that wasn't the right time for me to read it and to finish it. I know it's middle grade, but you know, sometimes you just... So we're going to get started with the physical books this month. So this is actually the very first book I read this month. That is The Mime Mourner by Samantha Shannon. This is the sequel to The Bone Season, which is my favorite book of all time. This book was just as good. Went in a different direction I didn't expect it to go in. The ending was such a huge cliffhanger. This, of course, was a 5 out of 5 stars for me. These books are just so rich and amazing, and I love this series so much. This is a series you definitely want to go into not knowing much about, because it's fun to discover the world and everything about it, and it's just great. It's a fantasy dystopian story, if you don't know. The first book got a lot of buzz on BookTube a couple years ago when it first came out, so yeah. Go check this out, because it's great, and I love this book so much. Next book I read is Hunt for Jade Dragon by Richard Paul Evans. This is the 4th book in the Michael Vey series. This is my favorite book in the series. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It was just so amazing, and I love this series so much. It's so fun to read, and everything about it. It has its typical cliches in it, but it's so much fun. It's so easy, and it's just, you have a good time reading all of these books, and I love it so much. And so that leads to the next book, and that is the 5th book in the Michael Vey series, Storm of Lightning, of course, by Richard Paul Evans. I gave this book 4 stars. I didn't love it as much as I loved Hunt for Jade Dragon, but I still loved it a lot. This is now one of my favorite series of all time. It's amazing. Again, please go read it, because it might be typical and whatnot, but they're so quick and they're so fun, and it's just a good time reading them. And the next book I read was Legacy of Kings by Eleanor Herman. This is a historical fiction novel. I've already done a spoiler-free review on it. If you want to go watch that, I will leave it down below. Yeah, this is her debut novel, and it is so good. If you're not a fan of historical fiction, but you want to read a historical fiction, definitely pick this up, because it has magic in it, and it's not centered around romance like normal historical fictions are. It's just so amazing, and the author put a lot of work into this book, and I adored this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It is a solid first book to good fantasy series, and I'm so excited for the next book that comes out in March or June. No, I think it comes out in June. And then the next book I read was Sky Raiders by Brandon Mull. This is a middle grade novel. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, I think. I love this book so much. It might be my new favorite Brandon Mull book. That might change when I read the sequel to this, but it was so good, and I completed all of my TBR, and I've been doing that for the past 2 months, and that makes me really happy. So yeah, this book was amazing. It's about this boy who follows friend. They go through this haunted house on Halloween, and these people take them, but they don't take the main character Cole, but he follows his friends to the outskirts. Then they find him. He gets sold as a slave, and then stuff goes from there. He meets people, and it's just so much fun. Brandon Mull writes such creative worlds, and I definitely recommend checking him out because he has so many books, and so you got a lot to choose from him. And the next book I read this month was a reread for me, and that is Infamous by Sherilyn Kenyon. This is the 3rd book in the Chronicles of Nick series, my favorite series of all time. 5 out of 5 stars. Obviously, I'm reading one of these a month so I can prep for the new release that is coming out this year. I love this series about demons and other types of demons, and this series is just great, and go check it out. It's so much fun. Nick is such a wonderful main character. He's so funny, he's so witty, he loves his mama, and that just makes me so happy, and I love this. And then the next book I read a lot of books this month, if you can't tell, was The Evolution of Mara Dyer. I hadn't planned on reading this book this month, but it just kept catching my eye, and so I decided to pick it up. And it was amazing, obviously, 4 out of 5 stars. These books are just so creepy and wonderful, and I just love them. I've heard not so great things about the conclusion, but I'm excited to read it since I own it now. So yeah, most people know what the Mara Dyer trilogy is about. It's fun to read and whatnot. And Noah Shaw. What else is there more to say about this series? And the second to last book that I read this month was The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. This is the sequel to The Fifth Wave, and oh my gosh, was this book amazing. I can't remember if I gave this, pretty sure I gave this 4 stars. This was amazing. It's a lot shorter. A lot of people say it's not that good, but it was phenomenal. You learned so much about this world and about the others, and there's like a plot twist. I had a book talk for this. If you've read this book and you want to hear my thoughts on it, I will leave it down below. Also, just phenomenal read. I love Rick Yancey's writing style, and I love the Fifth Wave world, and so yeah. And now the last book I read this month, I didn't think I was going to finish it because it was taking me forever to get into it, and I just didn't like it as much as I liked the previous one to it, and that was City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. This is the 5th book in the Mortal Instruments series. Obviously, most people know what this is about. Most people have read it. I did not enjoy this one as much as I enjoyed the 4th one. I don't know why. It took me for like ever. It took me like this much to get into it, and then I really enjoyed the end actually. And so yeah, I give this 4 out of 5 stars. I'm planning on doing a book talk for it because I want to share my feelings. So if you've read this book, watch out for that because there will be a book talk coming in the following weeks of March. So those are all the books I read this month. I'll have my TBR up soon. So yeah, tell me what books you read this month, or what was your favorite book this month, or your least favorite. I don't know. I didn't really have a least favorite this month, but yeah. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys are having a great day, and bye!